with Tamika. Fruitful Tuesday, they need it for sure.
Live with Tamika. Fearless Friday, they need it more and more.
Live with Tamika. The Most High will bless us for sure.
Live with Tamika. Just Global, here we go. We motivate, we elevate you to higher heights. Determination as we empower your mind. Building confidence, you will be surprised. D-O-B-S, we are on the rise.
When we are rising, not diving, we're not compromising. No. We come for preach the truth. When we are shifting, uplifting, only got the youth. Tell them we come to be great. We train the men to be kings, women to be queens. Help us build a self-esteem. Lord, with thy name will never put you to shame. Lord, they cannot support you a day.
Live with Tamika. Fearless Friday, they need it more and more.
Live with Tamika. Fruitful Tuesday, we need that for sure. Live with Tamika. Doves Global, here we go.
We motivate, we elevate you to higher heights. Determination as we empower your mind. Building confidence, you will be surprised. D-O-B-S, we are on the rise.
When we are rising, not diving, we're not compromising. No. We come for preach the truth. When we are shifting, uplifting, only got the youth. Tell them we come to be great. We train the men to be kings, women to be queens. Help us build a self-esteem. Lord, with thy name will never put you to shame. Lord, they cannot support you a day.
Live with Tamika. Fearless Friday, they need it more and more.
Live with Tamika. Fruitful Tuesday, we need that for sure. Live with Tamika. Doves Global, here we go.
Doves Global, creating memorable moments as we socially connect you to the world. Good evening, my humans, and welcome to the new season kickoff with Live with Tamika. Listen, it's been a minute, but it is so good to be back, y'all. So tonight we are talking about the evolution and evaluation of a relationship. Listen to me. Whew. But as always, before we get started, we have to take care of some housekeeping. And you know, we don't start or we don't do anything without prayer. And so before I invite our guest on, let us have a word in prayer. Father in heaven, we give you thanks. We give you glory. We bless your name, oh God. We thank you for this another opportunity where we can come in this space and be a motivation, a blessing, and encouragement to persons that are going through whatever it is that they're going through. We ask that you would take full control over this live tonight for the persons watching now and later. We ask, oh God, that you would meet us where we are and help us to move from where we are to where we need to be. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. So listen, we're going to get right into it. This young lady that's going to be hanging out with us today she's good humans. Let me put it like that. Because what I want to say, I can't say until later on when she come in, right? Nevertheless, she is a relationship coach. She has had experiences. She has had whatever you can possibly think of. As a lady, she has gone through it. She has survived it. And she has been using her story to share and help others through whatever it is that they're going through. And so it was such an awesome privilege for her to consent to kick off with me tonight. I have been trying to get this young lady for, oh my goodness, It's been a while, okay? But there's nothing before timing, okay? So without further ado, I'm going to invite my co-host, my guest, because she's going to be with me for this season, y'all. So it's going to be me and her for the next few sessions. And listen, we have a lineup out this world, and we invite you to share your comments, your thoughts. We are here for it all. We are talking about the evolution and the relationship in relationship. Listen, all that means is it's everything concerning relationship. The thought of being in a relationship to the actual dating, to getting engaged, to being married, divorced, widows, and all of the in between, the do's, the don'ts, the shoulda, woulda, coulda, the oh my goodness, the what? You name it, we're going to be talking about it. And so I'm going to invite her now to come on, and she's going to introduce herself, and she's going to tell us a little bit about who she is and what she does. Because listen to me, my humans, she has a podcast coming out very, very soon. And so listen, that is going to be off the chain. So I can need you to stay tuned so that you can hear how you can be a part of that. And we can connect, grow, and build together. You know how we do it. We support to be supported. Hello, my darling, and welcome to Live with Tamika 2026, baby. You doing
Hello,
right? That's
hello,
everything.
hello. Good evening, good evening, good evening. And thank you so much for having me. It's truly a pleasure to be here for such an epic topic.
I know, right? Ooh, yeah. I was telling some persons that are asking like about it, and I was telling them, well, you know how I go. We real. We want to talk about we want to talk about it. We want to talk about
We want to
everything because
talk about
we
it.
find that a lot of times persons have gone through stuff, persons are going through stuff, and they don't have a safe outlet to share what it is they're going through. They don't have somebody that they can, vent to or have a conversation with and just advise them properly as to, how you go about it, what your response should be, how you should deal with certain situations in terms of being in a relationship, And so as we get started tonight, uh, one of the things that we want to start with is with, the thought of even being in a relationship. When you're thinking about being in a relationship, what are some of the things that, you think about, you would want, you need to do, in that area? Because even as, for example, as young girls growing up, when you're thinking about being in a relationship, you want to think about you're thinking about all of the bells and the whistles and the fairy tale. But then as you get older and you experience certain things, you be like, well, shucks, this ain't what it crack up to be, you know? And so I'm gonna turn it over to you and we can go from there.
Um, well, Tamika, in terms of relationships, um, it depends on the type of relationships now because these relationships can be friendships, acquaintances ship, um,
Mm-hmm.
sailing the ship, knocking the boot ship. So we have to be more specific in what type of relationship that we are involved in first and foremost, okay?
True.
And then when we get involved in these relationship, today's society do not take the time to get to know the individual that they are involved with.
You're
And
right.
that's the problem. That's key right there. Because I understand that I am older and more old school. However, the younger generation live in the popcorn world where they meet, they hook up, they slam bam, and if I like it, I like it, I move on. But even though they sleeping together, they do not know that individual,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And in order for you to love a person, you have to know a person. Okay. And
That's a
to
whole lot
be
right there. You just said right now, hold on, let's take a pen and that. Let's go back to that. Let's go back to that. Because even as you said, yeah, we old, we are a little bit older now, so we're old school. So the things that we would have done and the avenues that we would have done and go about it is completely different from how these younger folks are doing it now. I'm like,
Mhm,
what?
mhm.
And back then, uh, sometimes we think about what we're gonna do, how we're gonna do it. Nowadays, young
Back
people ain't
then,
playing.
I was excited to get a phone call or to be asked to go on a date. To be asked, can I take you for dinner? It's it's crazy how the world lives today. And I'm not bashing everyone because I know that everyone is not the same.
This is true.
However, um from what I've seen, the majority, and it should be the other way around, because we're supposed to be pace setters, the older generations, but we tend to pick in and go into the same slang and hang in with the younger folks and forgetting our age and want to do everything with and forget that that's standard, you know,
Yeah.
and that's the key.
And I agree, so my question to you is, as a more senior persons like we are, what advice now can we even say to these young, especially the younger women? What can we tell them? Listen, you're what, 15, 16 now, you want a boyfriend, but are you prepared to have a boyfriend? What are the consequences of having a boyfriend? Because if you want to have a boyfriend, there are things that come along with having a boyfriend. You want to get close, you want touch, you want kiss, things
Well,
has
see,
happened.
Tamika, I think about it differently. At 15, 16, they should, I think, if they want to start dating, they should consider having a little friend. Now,
Mm-hmm.
this is where the parenting comes in, okay? Because
Uh-huh.
as parents, you should guide your child. You should sit down and talk to your child and let them know, okay, you're now to the age now you might be have a young friend that is interested and you might find you
Mm-hmm.
attractive. If someone finds you attractive, this is what they expect. And this is where
Mm-hmm.
parenting comes in. You can't, because we live in a world where your child is exposed to things whether we want them being exposed to them or not. We are
Uh-huh.
not around our children 24/7. We are only seeing the surface of what our children allow us to see.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
if we already experience life as senior people, it's our job to then educate the younger generation. Now, whether they listen or not, they cannot say, well, mommy and daddy never told me.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to my
Mm-hmm.
girls on a day, and they're all adults, and I still talk to them on a regular. Sometimes they get tired of me buzzing in their heads. But at the same time, you have to remind them, as women, you have to have a standard. You have to have a value and you have to love yourself in order for someone to love you. When you find
Yeah.
value in yourself, nobody
Come
can
on.
devalue you.
I get hold on, hold
Okay?
on. I gonna need you to hold on right there. Here's the thing. I just had a conversation with a friend of mine. I think it was yesterday or the day before, and I said to them, I said, my daddy spoiled me and my sister because he was is the perfect gentleman. My dad, I remember when we were growing up, my dad always told us that um, we we were beautiful, how valuable we are. Don't allow anybody to sell you short. Don't allow any man to make you feel less than you are.
Less than.
So
Mhm.
we grew up knowing what it is to travel around the world. We knew what it was is to have money, not to have money. We knew the value of appreciating, loving, and taking care of ourselves. That's
Yeah.
something that our dad instilled in us. We knew how
Mhm.
to, like my dad always say, listen, for the majority of it, do not depend solely on a man. We know how to, my dad is a contractor. So we knew how to go to work and mix mortar, bricks, picture roof, shingle, like, and so, like for me, when a guy approaches or when a guy is interested, in most cases, I'd be like, okay, so what you could do that my dad couldn't do, because I know that I'm beautiful. I know what my value is. I know what my worth is, and that's what's lacking in a lot of these younger persons today. They don't have, like you said, that person or that parent to just instill in them, plant that seed in them. Listen, you are beautiful. Your value is priceless. You
Yeah.
are beyond priceless. Don't
Yeah.
allow anybody, like we say back in the day, rent space in your head, because guess what? At the end of the day, the decisions you make is going to affect you today and tomorrow.
See, but
And
even it's not cutting you off, Tamika, but even
uh-huh.
if due to circumstances the parent is not in your life, because I know that a lot of parents work two and three jobs trying to provide for their family, so they cannot be home to do that parenting thing. But if that child, if you are to the age where you say you want a relationship, you're looking for a relationship, or you're thinking about marriage, first and
Uh-huh.
foremost, okay? I'm going to speak from a woman's perspective. You know, same thing like I always tell my daughters again, and I will use them as an example. When you're looking for a husband, start being a wife from now.
That part.
Start grooming yourself from now to be a wife. I got married at a very, very young age. What I know now, I didn't know then. Now that I'm older, see, I guess you have to go through some things to learn some things. You have to
Yeah.
experience some things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the older I am now, I see the mistakes I've made. I see. So now that I know which road to take and which when to stop and when to pull brakes. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? I know
Yes.
when to press gas, and I know when to pull
Yes.
throttle. I know when to so I know when to floor it. However, you know, the younger generation, you have to know, hey, get up in the morning. Learn that that's what my dad always used to say. You as a young lady, you don't lay down all day in the house. Get up early in the morning. Clean the house.
Mm-hmm.
Let the fresh scent, let the fresh, clean scent blow through your house. Open up your windows. Then once you then clean up, if you want to lay down, then lay down. But if you are a married woman, I'll tell any married woman, get it together, because the marriages in today's world is crazy, you know? Your
Mm-hmm.
home's supposed to be your castle, you know?
Mm,
If
it's
if
true.
if is a conjunction, okay? And I'm gonna use
Mm-hmm.
if with all capital letters. If that man, the king, is doing what he's supposed to do, you have no excuse to make sure the house clean, make sure the man clothes wash, make sure he has a hot meal. There's no excuse. There is absolutely no excuse. I'm serious.
It's true. It's
We
true.
have to we
And
have to
so,
treat our kings like kings, and then it goes the other way around. Our kings need to start treating our queens like queens, because the
mhm,
parents now, we take on a lot. We take on being their mama and their baby mama and everybody else mama, and then whoever else load you have to take on, and then you still got, if anyone ready to knock souls in you, ready to say hee hee ha ha, and it's supposed to be
mhm.
all good. But then, they have to, you as a man, take some of the load off. It works better when you take some of the load off. I'm serious. The woman treats you
And
better.
as you even
The
saying
home is
that,
better. It is.
as you said that, taking some of the load off, today I saw a comment a while ago from Kia, and she was saying the culture has changed so much till some women don't even desire to be married or something like that. I can't, oh goodness, I can't get back to it. Let me see if I can find it. The reality now, not every woman wants or desires to be a wife. Culture has changed. And that's so true. And you know what I find? I find that in that case, I've had a few persons that I've encountered in that same situation. And the reason being is they have been hurt by so many men. They've been disappointed. They've been abused mentally, physically. And sometimes it's like, you know what? There's like, you know what? I'm not committing to this relationship anymore, because every time I commit to this relationship, something always goes wrong. I always get, like we say, the bad end of the stick. And so because of that, I'm just going to
Mhm.
go from Tom, Dick to Jeff to whoever and just keep it moving,
No, see,
and
nah,
it's a scary
when
thing.
it's like that, Tamika, that person needs to seek help. I'm sorry for being blunt, like we say, I'm keeping it real. If see, we there's something called mental health, and we have the admittance is key. When you have the when you need help, you be the last to say that you need help. Sometimes you seek help,
Yeah,
or
some people
seek,
really do.
we call it look seeking for attention, or looking for love in all the
Hmm.
wrong places.
All the wrong places.
Okay, it goes back to valuing yourself, the self-worth. Okay,
Yeah.
because if you value yourself, you would not allow your body to be to Tom, Dick, and Harry. You valuing yourself.
Hmm. And so even with that, we need more safe spaces so that we can remind these men and women that, you don't have to go this route. There is still a person for you that's just specifically going to love you the way you need to be loved, take care of you the way you need to be taken care of, you know, and and many times when people confide in someone, by the time is the night out, the day out, they hear their business already around the whole globe, and that's the problem. We need to have real safe spaces where these persons can sit down and share their experiences, share the hurt, the pain, the frustration that they've been going through, without any judgment, one, without it being, talked about all around the neighborhood, or and so a lot of times people want help, but at the same time, the people who supposed to be helping them are the same ones that are doing more damage than good, you know
Facts,
so
facts.
it's and that comes back into, when you start your podcast, some of the things that you want to share, some of the things that you would have experienced and help other persons that have gone through such traumatic experiences. Miss Alcock is saying it doesn't always mean that a good person has no self-esteem or love because they don't want or commit. Did I read that correctly? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. True. Some people
Well,
just have this attitude where, marriage ain't for me, one person ain't for me, that's them. But I still believe it's still an underlining reason as to
why you
why
don't
they
want to
got to
commit?
that
See,
point.
commitment again. Whoever say, if I'm the way you read, if I'm understanding it correctly, your self esteem doesn't have to be low for you not to commit. No, you may know your worth. Yes. However, what are you afraid of for commitment? If you are afraid of commitment, you were heartbroken. That means you still are not healed. Because if you are healed, you would not be afraid to commit. Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
see, it goes back to my podcast is about ignite your intimacy. Okay. And it goes back to, and
Mm-hmm.
I will tell people in relationships, it starts with the intimacy. And intimacy goes
Mm-hmm.
so in depth. Okay. A
It
lot of
does.
married couples do not have an intimate affair. They don't know what being intimate is. I'm telling you. You know how much married people dying to be hugged by their spouse?
Yeah. Yeah. And that
I
that
wouldn't
that's a
even go
that's
as
that's
far as
powerful.
married people. I mean, you know how much people say they in a relationship and do not get a hug from their spouse or from their
Boy, I need a
partner?
hug.
You know, and as simple as a hug, it goes a long way. And it's
Tell
a
me about it.
simple gesture. It's a love
Yes.
language. But a lot of
Woo.
people, a lot of a lot of couples,
Mm-hmm.
as simple as a soft touch or spank on the butt. Some people get taken offense off it if your spouse do that. You know, you it's when I listen to some things, I just it's baffling. You know, but tonight isn't
Mm-hmm.
tonight for that. But the evolution in the relationship in today's world, guys, and we're in the year 2026, we are in the modern world. Ask yourself if you are happy in your relationship. Ask yourself
Yeah. You know,
if you're happy together, if you are happy with who you are as an individual, you know?
that part.
And
Hold on. Let's put a pin in that one right there. Let's hold on. So listen, you talked about intimacy and even as simple as the hug and knowing your partner's language, their love language. That is so important because there are some people that are not going to say things, but you have to do it like acts of kindness, like stuff like that. One of my main love languages is touch. I touch is listen, touches get you in trouble, but sometimes it's just a hug. You don't have to say anything, but just a hug. That hug says everything,
it says a lot.
does everything.
It speaks
But
a lot. It says a
and a
lot.
lot of times people are not paying attention
Mhm,
to who
mhm.
and the type of person that they have, you know?
Tamika, again, and I repeat this several times during this season, this session, it goes back
Uh-huh.
to getting to know your partner. Okay, knowing your partner, guys, it's like taking a test. You studying for a test. Seriously,
Mm-hmm.
learn your partner. It's like studying for a test. It sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, know with your partner. You should know if you with your partner for a year, the way your partner look, you should know his body language.
Mm-hmm. 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 Very true. Very
If you
true.
be around this person on a regular, you certain things you the way he look, you only he or she only have to look or fix their face a certain type of way. You know that
Yeah, yeah. And you
you
can
should
pick up
know,
on their mood,
okay,
what's
what
going on
type
with
mode
them.
he in the night,
Mm-hmm.
or you know but as a
Yes.
female, if you are married, it doesn't matter what type of mood you in, baby girl. When you go home,
When that fella come home from a long day's
you
work,
set the atmosphere. You make
come
sure
on.
your house is nice and clean.
Yes,
You
make
have your
the
scented
atmosphere
candles,
conducive for good things.
Yeah.
Yes,
Because you can't want a man to handle you right, and house dirty and foodie and cook and clothes dirty, and this thing go with sense, you know?
it
We
does.
we we you know, but
It does. It does. And
and
that's so important because there's a saying that, when let me see if I say it properly. Um when a man comes home, or for a man, a peace of mind is one of the main things that a man requires. Respect, number one, peace,
it's
right? And so a lot of times wives have this thing of, yeah, me and you working, and that's fine. Baby, your job is to be submissive to your husband, right? So when he come home after a long day, you had a long day too. We understand that, we know that. But baby, when your husband come home, whatever day you had, you have to put that on the side, and you have to make sure that your man has been taken care of. You feed him, you take care of him.
ma'am,
And without going in details and that,
excuse me,
you
ma'am.
understand.
Let me tell you,
Yes.
okay? Because in my younger days, I gonna be like the young children on this one. I didn't know nothing about submitting to my husband, okay?
But listen,
But so I'm being honest, because I got married
I,
young. So submitting, when we say we submitting to our husbands, or you know, you have to know what you call and submitting to, because some of these men is take submitting to a whole other level.
well, that
Okay.
part.
So again, it goes back to communicating and knowing your partner. Okay. And
Yeah,
communication is key. If you and your partner don't
it
communicate,
is.
because
Definitely.
once you guys communicate and you get to know, listen, your relationship will be, guys, listen, you will have such an awesome relationship if you find yourself dating. Try it, any new couple, don't go into a relationship lying. Go honest. Go 100% and lay everything on the table. Now, either
Listen,
you like me,
listen,
you
listen.
don't. See, a lot of these relationships going half, huh? I mean, they going downhill because from I meet you, I come faking, I come lying to you, I come
You got it.
half counterfeit. So if I come to you with a half counterfeit, how I expect to spend a counterfeit money if it ain't real? Well, how far can you take me?
Exactly.
you know
Oh my
so
goodness. This
again,
is true.
humans, again, it goes back
Mm-hmm.
to getting
Mm-hmm.
to know your peoples. Okay?
And that's the premise and the foundation of it right there.
See, if
So,
you get to know, we wouldn't have to, you wouldn't go through all of this heartbreak and all of this because the process may take a little longer. You can't be that hot up to want to sleep with Joe and Joe still can break your heart. You hot up to
mm,
sleep with Joe and Joe still can't place you right.
that's
See,
something,
you
eh?
you
But guess what? Can I be trapsy for a half a second?
go ahead.
So listen, and a lot of people find that, even if Joe gonna break my heart, Joe gets some good stuff he working with. And so because Joe working with some good stuff, then sometimes I get clouded. You get clouded, all you're thinking about is, okay, now I know Joe have his fault with this, and I know Joe have his fault with we being real
We
and
being
honest. And
real.
these are
Okay.
the things that
Facts.
trap that
Facts.
trap and causes
Mm,
some people to stay in the situation that they are because the stuff good.
Tamika.
It's not it's not until you get one day out of seven you're gonna have to realize, listen, it has to be more than the good stuff. Than this is the good stuff plus this and that. You
Tamika.
can't just settle for just the good stuff because the good stuff can get you in problems and cost you and and stuff.
See,
You understand?
listen, see, this thing go with sense, okay?
It does.
If again, it goes with the mindset now because we
It
can,
I agree.
okay, it goes with the mindset now. Okay, so if again, it goes back to getting to know a person, it still goes back to getting to
Yes.
know that person. So even if it's good and Joe isn't on like too stable or whatever, you
Mm-hmm.
could help get Joe. Okay, Joe, we could either I could let's help you get enrolled in some night classes so you can do XYZ. Hey Joe,
Be an
let's start
encouragement,
this.
Joe.
Yeah,
And
man.
and
You know, this a
yes,
nice little, let me set you up a nice little job, whatever you're interested in. Let me start you up. Let me see where your head is. Okay?
the
I
old people used to say, "You fattening frog for
no,
stink."
no,
So
no.
here it
Hold
is
on, hold
now.
on.
You want to educate Joe. You want to get Joe on the right path. Then when Joe and get all that education, get the big job, Joe gonna leave your foot bottom and go find somebody else.
Tamika, again, it goes
Man,
to
listen, reality is
yes,
that's
reality. It
that's some
goes
of the
back
things
to
that happen
getting
that
to
people have
know
experienced. And
Tamika.
so,
Tamika, not cutting you off,
yes,
but
uh,
that it happens just as right as it longs. You could marry a person who could pretend to love you for 3 to 5 to 10
uh,
years and still walk out on you and
uh-huh.
wipe you out clean.
Uh,
And it's the same thing.
come on
Life
now.
is a chance, you know. Life is a chance.
It
That
sure
doesn't
is.
mean we must
It
give
sure
up on
is.
love. The heart wants what it wants, and you have to realize
It
if
does.
I love you, if I love you, if I love you, I'm willing to. See, we saying be real. We saying be real.
Mm-hmm.
As women, when we love a person, we willing to invest in that person. We willing to push you.
Yes.
I willing to see you
Yes.
thrive because if you
Yes.
thrive, I thrive. Okay. Now, I'm not saying, Joanne, if Joe, now, me pushing you, helping you, encouraging you. Now, if you get on your feet and you decide to go there, mess up on me who helping you, yeah, I might
Uh-huh.
gain my feelings. I'm not saying I mightn't,
Right, 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 right,
but,
right, 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 right,
but,
right.
but, sometimes we have to take our losses and say, okay, Joe, I'm highly disappointed in you, but you know, Lord, you tell me that was one for me because I go to God for everything now, Joe. Before I even start spending on you, I praying for you. You understand? Now, if
Yes.
that ain't happened, that means okay, that's a lesson I need to learn from. I'm not gonna take that as a negative. That means that's a lesson I need to learn from. Because not everything, some disappointments, like
Mm-hmm.
my grandma used to say to me, doesn't mean it's denied. Okay. Joe was in my life to teach
Yes.
me a lesson. Now, what
That part.
lesson Joe came in my life to teach me? That means I need to be
Mm-hmm.
prepared for when the real thing comes. Okay?
Come
Because this
on.
is
I
how
trying to
you have
tell
to
you
think.
something.
Every time someone comes in your life, think about it as a lesson. You enjoy your job training. You get a promotion. You're going up another level. You in job training. That's
Mm-hmm.
just how you treat these
Mm-hmm.
men. When they treat you right, okay, you get a bonus today. Okay, you
Right.
get a
Oh my.
special treat
Right.
today. If you're
Oh,
doing right, okay, you get
yeah.
an extra special treat today.
Oh.
Okay? Yeah, man, you gotta
Okay.
reward them. Because when
I
you
gone left just I had to come back full center. Mm.
you know, we have to
Yeah, somebody commented and said that's growth. Yeah.
yeah, sometimes you have to we can say, okay, I'm not gonna like this person, I'm not gonna but I've learned the heart wants what it wants.
It
But us
does.
as humans, we have to pray. We have to
Yeah.
remain
And that's true.
prayerful.
Not to cut you off, Simone. Kia posted a comment, and she said, "Not everyone prays. Not everyone has that mindset." And that's true. A lot of people, they don't think like that. They don't abide or do the things that some of
Excuse
us
me.
would do. But at the bottom line of it is just being able to know what it is that you want and what are you prepared to take.
Okay.
Somebody posted, I was trying to scroll back up to see somebody posted another comment about marriages, but it's too many comments. I can't get back up to what it was. There was a really good comment, but it's true. As for the not so um saved, sanctified people, and for the saved, sanctified people, at the end of it, like I said, it's still based off on, what are you going to allow? What are you going to put up with? Is it, it's relationships is straight across the board. It's what you put in is what you're going to get out. What you allow is what you're going to, is what you're going to tolerate, you know? And a lot of times people have this mind games, this manipulation. And for some people that have low self-esteem or have other challenges that they're dealing with, and they come across this one human who supposedly, doing the taking care of them, but it comes with a catch. I'm taking care of you, but I'm still belittling you. I'm taking care of you, but I'm still making you feel like you're less than a human. Whereas if you could understand who you are and whose you are, hey, you could tell that dude, listen, what I gonna need you to do is, well, we can't say that on live, but we gonna even so.
No.
But you get the gist of what I'm
I
saying.
get the
But it
gist.
still goes back,
But see,
yeah,
I honestly, Tamika, it's so scary because especially with the younger generation, you know? And
yeah,
I'm not even forgive me guys, and I'm not just bashing the younger generation because I've seen it happen in the older generation as well. But mm, you I am quite sure you have received love from somewhere. Someone have showed you love at some point in time
mm-hmm,
in your life. Okay?
yeah, yeah,
Everywhere, I mean, you can't be so caught up with an individual that you lose yourself.
that's right, that's
Okay?
right,
You have to, and it goes, you have to learn to value yourself, Tamika. We have to
yes,
train these. You have to,
yeah,
and I'm gonna keep, and we have to keep telling the young, we have to keep telling them, because each one teach one. Growing up,
yeah.
you used to say the neighbors, our neighbors grow us up. Nowadays, if you say something to the neighbor child, they want to call the police or they want to, you know, but you looked out for one another. You make sure that, hey, I know that so and so kid. I know that so and so sister. They look out for one another. So
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
generation today, people look out for you. Whether it be your church member, whether it be your teacher, somebody, whether it be someone at home. If mommy and daddy don't show you love, your auntie show you love, grandma somebody showed you some type of love.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. That's right.
So
I like the comment Candice says, um, love yourself is most important.
yes,
That's right.
you have to
You
learn to
have to
love
love you before
yourself.
anybody else can love you. That's
And
right.
that's the one
You're
thing
right
I
about it,
always tell
Candace.
people. If you love you, then you know how you want to be loved. How can you love
Mhm.
somebody if you don't love yourself? And for
Yeah,
any
it's
female,
true.
if a man to diminish you, he do not love you. For any human to diminish you would say he is your human, your person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Any human being, if that is your person,
Uh-huh.
okay, and they look up in your
That's
face,
right.
they look up at, that is your person.
Mm-hmm.
They should
Right, right,
not
right, right, right.
disrespect you by no way, shape, or form.
That's right.
And it
Man,
goes
Candace,
the
this
same
Candace
way.
on a
You
roll.
should do the same. You should respect your person. Your person should respect you. If you all have a
Most
disagreement, it
definitely.
goes back to communication. Honestly,
That's right.
see, I am strong on this now because when I was younger, I was very aggressive. I had a lot of anger
Oh,
in me. I was very aggressive.
um,
So I
mm,
never I displayed my communication through aggression, but it didn't get me anywhere.
mm,
In the long run, I
mm-hmm,
lost a lot
mm-hmm.
because of it, you know?
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm,
now that I've learned to communicate and express my
mm-hmm.
feelings and my thoughts and think
Yes.
before I act, I learned to have better
That part is in your
relationships
response.
with
I'm trying to tell
everybody,
you something. Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm. We have who's this? I can't make it. Oh, Anton Miller says values should be both ways. Men should love and respect
Exactly.
all. So most definitely, most definitely, and listen, we are just getting started. For those of you that are tuning in, that just tuned in, we are talking about the evolution and evaluation of a relationship. And that is just simply talking about all aspects of a relationship, being in a relationship that will lead to possibly marriage, what's required in a marriage, what's even before marriage and dating, some of the things that you want, knowing what you want, knowing what you're bringing to the table. What are you willing to put up with? What are you not going to put up with? What are you going to do when situations come, and how will you respond? Even as
Mhm.
persons that have been in relationships many times, every relationship is not the same,
Mhm.
and every person you have to learn understand that
Mhm.
particular person,
Mhm.
and from every experience there
Mhm.
should be a lesson learned. Like
Exactly.
Simone said, you in multiple relationships, and you have red flags. When you exit out of that one and enter into another one, you should be able to spot the flies because you would have already seen, understand, hopefully, let
Yep.
me put it like that, because sometimes we
Mm.
don't pay attention to the red flags and it carries over, it carries over. And so we have to be careful of that. And another thing that you said too, is that you have to be completely healed before getting into another relationship, because you're carrying over the hurt, the
Mhm.
pain, the frustration, all of
Mhm.
the bad treatment, if that, into that other one, into that other relationship. And so you're not giving a fair chance to this new human that you're encountering. So they're going to take all of the frustration, anger, and everything that the person before did wrong. You're going to take it out to him. So now you're going to have regret. You're going to start comparing. And that is not good. Listen, y'all. Like I said, we are just getting started in this, and we are going to be at this for the next few Fridays. So we invite you to continue to tune in as we dive deeper into this, because there are so many things that, you know, we want to touch on and share and continuously get your feedback. And we had some great comments. I am so sorry we couldn't get to all of the comments, but nevertheless,
Tamika, before we go,
please, we are inviting you back. Next week, Friday, is going to be another session next week, Friday, every Friday at 9:00. And so as we wrap up, I'm going to let Sarmone just touch on something else before we wrap up right quick. And again, please, whatever that we are saying here, we are hoping that you'll be open-minded and mindful as to, you know, moving forward. And that's something that we would have said would resonate with you to shift your mind for the better, for positive. Okay, Sarmone.
okay. So you guys who are in a relationship, just starting a relationship, renewing your marriage, 5 questions to ask yourself and your partner. Are we happy together?
Ooh.
Please be honest with each other, with yourself. First question, are we happy together? Second question, do we trust and respect each other? Third, are our needs being met? Fourth, do we communicate effectively enough? 5, are the benefits of the relationship greater than the challenges?
That part. Those are some really good questions to sit down and ask, you know, and I would encourage that too, you know, before getting into a relationship, you know, sit down with these questions first and ask yourself these questions, you know, and based on where you are at that point, you'll be able to better navigate in the next relationship or the relationship that you're in, because now you would have a whole staff meeting with yourself, because I do it all the time. I have a one-on-one staff meeting. And so I sit down and I said, now listen, you done get into wall, but some of the things that you've been doing, okay? You done been around enough to understand and know some things, paying attention, like we said earlier, to the red flags. You know, there are so many things that we miss out or overlook, you know, but when you sit down and you just have a conscious conversation or train of thought in terms of relationship, what do you want in it? How do you want to go about it? What are you prepared to do? What's your part of it? Because it goes both ways. You can't just sit down there and depend on the person to do every single thing. No, it goes both ways.
Right.
It's hand in hand. It's a partnership, you know? And so when we come back next week, we're going to talk a little bit more about all of this and then some. And so we are inviting you back again next week, same time, same place. And we are going to just continue on from there. I am so grateful for those of you that chimed in and gave your feedback. We appreciate it greatly.
Yes,
so I'm
thank
going to
you,
go
thank
through
you.
it and take out some of the questions that we didn't get to answer, and some of the comments, and just kind of recap when we come back. Or I may do like a little snippet just to, you know, post it. But Sarmone, I am so grateful for you hanging
Thank
out
you,
with us,
thank you,
sharing
thank
your
you. No
thoughts, your
problem.
experience with us. And like I said earlier, I hope that something that was said tonight be an encouragement or an eye opener, you know, for you to realize in a relationship what it is that you want. Are you settling for the right human? Are you waiting on God? Like there's a comment from Latoya, and it says, I find that we tend to walk into relationship without God leading, and we rush into many unequally yoked relationships. Now that's a whole suitcase right there to be
Oh
unpacked.
boy.
And so
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm just gonna put a comma right there, not a period, but a comma right there, and we can deal with that when we come back. And so thank you all, my darlings, for tuning in. As always, I love y'all like good food and good stuff. You understand? And so until we meet again, may the Lord watch between me and all of you all until we come back. Same time, same place, next week, Friday, 9 o'clock. Thanks. Always remember my humans. Listen, at some what I just tell, they know how I go. I extra, not extra, extra, you know? And so we just appreciate you guys, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you, Simone.
Okay.
See you next week.
Later.
God bless you all. God keep you until the
See
next
you.
moment.
Bye, y'all.
What a powerful show. That's the world, no. Tamika and Peter and Kutelua. Live with Tamika. Fruitful Tuesday, they need it for sure.
Live with Tamika. Fearless Friday, they need it more and more.
Live with Tamika. The most I will bless us for sure.
Live with Tamika. Just global, here we go. We motivate, we elevate you to higher heights. Determination as we empower your mind. Building confidence, you will be surprised. D-O-B-S, we are on the rise.
When we are rising, not driving, we're not compromising. No. We come for preach the truth. When we are shifting, uplifting, all the got the youth. Tell them we come to be great. We train the men to be kings, women to be queens. Help us build a self-esteem. How Lord, we thy name will never put you to shame. Lord, they cannot support you a day.
Live with Tamika. Fearless Friday, they need it more and more.
Live with Tamika. Fruitful Tuesday, we need that for sure. Live with Tamika. Doves Global, here we go.
We motivate, we elevate you to higher heights. Determination as we empower your mind. Building confidence, you will be surprised. D-O-B-S, we are on the rise.
When we are rising, not driving, we're not compromising. No. We come for preach the truth. When we are shifting, uplifting, all the got the youth. Tell them we come to be great. We train the men to be kings, women to be queens. Help us build a self-esteem. How Lord, with thy name will never put you to shame. Lord, they cannot support you a day.
Live with Tamika. Fearless Friday, they need it more and more.
Live with Tamika. Fruitful Tuesday, we need that for sure. Live with Tamika. Doves Global, here we go.
Doves Global, creating memorable moments as we socially connect you to the world.